on to a thing that I think we've touched on in like all of these conversations that we've talked, like just the current event conversation, but I think it's like a very worrying growing trend in the US and the world. And it needs to be talked about because a group of society is being taken advantage of and preyed upon for, personal benefit and gain. And obviously, like we're talking about the younger men crisis, predominantly in the United States, but Adolescence on Netflix is this huge hit now, and like that's about Great Britain. So I think just from its basis, younger men are not doing well. They are not going to college as much as they used to. They are not working. They're not employed. They're not going out. They're living with their parents. And we'll get into like the percentages and data behind all of this, because it's going to be empty without that. But suicide rates are also much higher for men in the United States of America, and it's all correlated. And it also helps explain why they voted the way they did in 2024 in the US. It explains certain behaviors and trends that we see on the internet and on social media. And I don't think that it's being talked about it enough at all. So we're diving into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, someone who's fallen down this pipeline. I mean, and like firsthand experience. I mean, a lot of younger men just don't know what to do, especially after COVID. I mean, like I'm gonna use myself as an example. I graduated high school. I wanted to go to college, just wasn't in the cards for me. Couldn't afford it, and I mean, for what is basically 3 years, I just kind of sat on my ass. Didn't talk to any of my friends, any of that shit. Just being depressed out of my mind, and no, I had a good support system around me. I didn't thankfully fall down the alt-right pipeline, but it's sad to see people fall in a similar situation. I mean, a lot of my friends from my old high school, shout out Cap, um, basically fell down the same situation. I mean, I have one friend who will not be named, but literally all he does is just sit at home and play PlayStation. Literally nothing else. And I mean, no joke, it's so fucking sad to see. My man Noah is having a great time. He knows who I'm talking about, but it's the fucking truth. It's just so sad.
Conrad?
Donald Trump just doesn't occur when things are going well for people. That let's be honest. This is a des this was a I don't want to say a cry for help because there is individual responsibility. I also don't want to absolve a lot of this. I think also too this is a very delicate conversation for very many different groups because it's not just men who are going to be affected by the failures of this organization. Disproportionately, a lot of other people stand to lose more. But I would be remiss to say that the lack of opportunity, and I would also say the lack of understanding and compassion for what young men are going through right now, whether it be dating on apps. That seems to be an absolute nightmare. I can't imagine what it would be like to be on the dating scene right now. I'm pretty sure if it was like a measure of economic inequality, dating apps are pretty much the most unequal economy in the world. Something like 10% of the males get over 90% of the attention. Like that is not sustainable. Also, too, I believe we should talk about, I know we emphasize college a lot. What I want to say about college or trades or any type of vocation, labor is sacred. Okay. I don't care what you're doing. I think there's this perception that liberals are elitist. Um, I am a liberal. This world goes around because we all work together. Look, there's a reason why I'm having a professional install my front door, and it's not going to be me because I'd be a fucking idiot and completely unqualified to do the job. We have domain specific knowledge, okay? I was good at nursing. I'm now an underwriter. Um, I have great admiration for the skills and artistry that are involved in the trades. So, I mean, how we discuss like college and trade work, like I think sometimes we slip up how we talk about it. Look, man, like we're all on the same team here. Nobody looks down on you for working, regardless of what your educational background is. I don't want to say we want you to be better in how you treat people and how you see the world, but that's kind of where I'm coming from. Um, Going back to the suicide rates, men attempt suicide, I think, less frequently than women, but they are, I don't want to say, I want to be very careful with they're,
They're more
man, I want to be,
successful.
yes, I didn't want to use that word, but they
But
often use more lethal means. Um,
So, oh
it's a tragedy. Go ahead. Sorry,
it
Noah.
is.
yeah,
I was yapping.
no, you're good, you're good, you're good.
You were right though. I mean,
100%.
100%.
So I think going into like the origins of this, college was free from almost everybody before Ronald Reagan became president, and like
Mm.
many other problems in our society today. This is all Ronald Reagan's fault. Not all of it, but you know what I mean. Right? College was mostly free and houses were inexpensive. People were still able to get a house if you had a good well-paying job, whether it was a blue collar job or white collar job. And Ronald Reagan became president. It's gone around a lot this week, especially. The tax rates get extremely low on the upper class, the top 1%, the billionaires and millionaires of this country. And one of the biggest wealth transfers in history happens from the bottom 99% to the top 1%. And what we see happen is the cost of education goes up, the cost of housing goes up, people are able to afford less and less by generation. And what it's resulted in is that Gen Z is probably going to be the first generation that isn't better off than their parents. Like it has come to that point, especially with younger men. Going into the stats really quickly, it's already starting to happen at certain universities and certain like state school programs, but within the next 5 years universally in this country, 2 to 1, 66% to 33%, women are going to be graduating and men will be graduating. So that is just an insane class difference off the bat. On top of that, oh sorry.
Yeah. And now keep going, keep going. My
Yeah.
point's a little different.
33% of men under 30 are in a relationship. 66% of women under 30 are in a relationship. That's because women want to date someone that has their shit together, and more it's going to be someone that is older than them. Not as old as Caroline Leavitt and her boyfriend and her husband, but a little bit older. And then you have 1 in 5 men under 30 still live with their parents. And the really devastating, sad one, and this is not just younger men, this is just like men in US society. Men make up 80% of the suicides in the United States right now, according to the CDC. And
Deaths of despair are at an all-time high. I mean, since like the 30s or something like that. It's just horrifically sad to
it
see.
is horrific. And then because of all these factors and conditions, it's allowed your right wing podcasts, your right wing politicians to take advantage of these people. Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, the Tate brothers, Joe Rogan, Theo Wan, like the list goes on and on. They offer a solution. They say, you're not manly enough. You just need to go out to the gym, get jacked, and you'll be fine. All of your problems are because the rest of the world cares too much about women, the immigrants, and LGBTQ people. And then you
And
blame all your issues on them. You still don't do anything. You're still living in your parents' basement, but instead of getting your dopamine hit by going out, going to the gym, or going out and just hanging out at the bar with some friends, talking to a girl that you like that you think is pretty, going to school. Instead of any of that, you get your dopamine hit and your joy in life from just being an incel on the internet and saying heinous
I
things.
I kind of disagree with this point
That's
though.
completely fine.
I just wanna I'm sorry for interrupting you, but it's so much easier said than done. So much easier said than done. And I'm gonna use myself as an example as this. Yeah, man, I would love to go onto a bar, hang out with my friends and stuff like that. But it's like the way that young men were raised in this country, and it's like I think it's like we have no fucking clue what we're doing at this point, right? And obviously, I know, but I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, and I think the fact that people are incels is just a failure of society. And obviously, it's a lot of different ways. And Connor brought up a point about education. I think a lot of these kids just don't want more education, even if that's trade school or anything like that. You know, before in the early 2000s, retail was a full-time job. You can make an income, you can make a yearly income off retail. And it was a noble trade. And I think for a lot of kids, it's and a lot of boys and a lot of men, and it's just that first step. And I think that's the point you were trying to get to, Noah, and I'm realizing that now, but it's just take that first step to get out of your comfort zone. We have a friend me and Noah are talking to right now. Shout out my man Tiny Foam, right? And he's been talking about the same girl since he graduated high school 7 years ago. And we're just telling him, dude, get out of your comfort zone. And a lot of these just men and boys just don't want to get out of their comfort zone. And I think
Like,
Noah brought up a great point. It's everyone else's fault but my own. And some circumstances it is. COVID wasn't their fault. COVID fucked me, right? COVID fucked a
same,
lot of kids in our
same.
generation, right? But you gotta do shit you don't want to do. I'm sorry for going on a little tirade.
No, you're absolutely right. And I completely agree. Taking that first step is the hardest. I'll be honest, last year I quit my finance job in March. Did not have a lead on anything. I was at home like the rest of March, April, May, June, July, August, and most of September. Um, at certain point, I was extremely miserable. I was unhappy. Like I was very lived out by that point, but 2016 Noah was an ardent Trump supporter and like bothered the shit out of some people when he won. So I also like can very easily see myself going down this pipeline and going down this way. And I think like last year I got a little taste of what it must feel like. Um, to like not really have a lot of social interaction besides the same like two friends. Not really do much like just like being at home, being with your parents, all of that. And then first step happened. I just randomly decided to apply for a job with the PA Dems. Got it, went there. It was completely out of my comfort zone. It was fucking terrifying. One of the and led to one of like the worst days of my fucking life. However, I met some of the coolest people. I found passion for something that I really wanted to do, and that has led to like now two other jobs and meeting even cooler people and just like both people on here the screen with me right now like I did not know a year ago. And that
Dude,
just came with like
exactly.
taking that one first fucking step. And the issue is we were able to do it. These podcasts are just like transforming these people into people that think that it'll magically happen to them because the king Donald Trump is in charge now and he's going to look out for
Precisely.
them, and they're being sold false hope. And it's just like it is pathetic that these people with a bunch of fucking money had to resort to this to like win and gain something in life, and they're preying on like an entire generation of people. But it's like still very much possible to get out of it. And I think having this conversation, putting it out there, is a great step in trying to accomplish that.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think, I- and that's the allure I feel like of the manosphere in general. It's the illusion of a cohesive community, but it's a facade. It's, you guys both said the first step is the hardest. And like, you don't have to take that first step in the comforts of that manosphere. You just don't. You have a community built in, but like, they can't really support you. They're not going to be there for you when anything like bad happens in life. You're not going to be, it's just an illusion. And Man, it is hard work. It is hard work. It is scary. I think there's a lot of shame in American culture when you're a man and you're not like a producer and you don't have it all figured out. And there's still that pressure to graduate college, get the job, secure your financial future. And to be frank, the deck is stacked against you. Like that's the societal part, the headwinds that just aren't fair. But like I would say, what can we do to make the future better for for men? Like and I keep thinking about big public works projects. How do we get an entire generation of men, give them opportunity, give them a job, give them, I don't want to say dignity, because I think dignity also comes from yourself,
You're not wrong
but
though. I, no, I'm sorry for interrupting. You're not wrong. I think a lot of these people would feel a lot better. I think, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but you're 100% correct using the word dignity.
Yep.
and I don't know. I think the how do you combat this? I think you come out with a comprehensive plan to address, we brought up the deaths of despair. I mean, one thing we didn't really talk about is probably substance abuse and overdose deaths. I, I don't have the statistics in front of me. I'm sure I can look them up. Give me like 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure men suffer disproportionately from overdoses. You have overdoses, you have suicides. How, if this was any other public demographic group, like we would be clamoring to solve this problem. How can we address that? How can we help this struggling population?
I have a lot of thoughts to offer just really quickly. This is from 2019, so it is a little bit dated. Overdose deaths overdose deaths in men went from 14.8 in per 100,000 people in 2009 to 29.6 per 100,000 people in 2019.
14.8 to 29.6,
Yeah,
doubled.
that's double. That's and you know why? Because before these right-wing podcasts started preying on them, um, I don't agree with a lot of things he says, but Mike Malak, I don't know if y'all have like seen anything by him. He like does the Logan Paul podcast with him, but this dude had a ski injury and got addicted to oxy, um, and was like milling about and like in and out of rehab, like just a very harrowing story. And he gets out, he's like working at Lovesac, and he's the one that gets sent to like assess whatever Logan Paul wants to do with beanbags at his house, and they strike up this friendship, and that like was his first step. And he wrote a book about it, and the dedication in the book was like fuck the Sackler family, right?
Yep.
Right. So I just think like they preyed upon these people multiple ways. You prey upon lonely men until we get to this point. As a big project or like just things to give them dignity, I think we have to have more concrete programs for the trades, because not everybody goes to college, but like, right, like everybody needs an electrician, a plumber, like,
Well, and that's the thing too, and I 100% agree. We do need stronger trades. And I mean, fuck it, we're trying to fix society in general. Some people don't want to go to trade school
yeah,
either.
that's
These are
okay.
lazy motherfuckers.
That's
I mean,
okay.
I love my friend who plays for honor all day, who knows who he is, by the way. You know who he is, Noah. That I love him to death. That motherfucker's not going to trade school. He's not going to become
Right.
an HVAC technician.
So,
But
and I think for those people, like, so this is a really interesting stat. There are currently,
just a fair wage. We need
so
fair wages in this nation. I'm sorry.
according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the U.S. NEET rate, which is youth not in employment, education, or training, is 8.71%. It's one of the higher end ones that are on their chart with like, and it's mostly developed countries. Like Switzerland is the highest. And so there is a large percentage of the population, and this is for men and women, but there is a large percentage of this population of young people that don't want to do anything. And I think for them, that's where you have to, look into things like why have profits for grocery stores gone up so much and why are they going to self-checkout while these salaries have stayed the same, and like work on things of that nature to give people that option. For trade schools, I also think that if colleges were incentivized to offer trade programs, not only would that help them, because like quite frankly, you could hire people at a slightly cheaper rate as soon as they graduate from this like 1 or 2 year training, and have them work on your buildings and things of that nature. But also, if you combine the trade school with a college, that allows for more assimilation and just allows for more human interaction to happen between those two factions. And I think that is one of the biggest L's that we're taking post COVID. And I know Conrad, you're a little bit older than us, but like I it took me like 2 years to learn how to interact with people post COVID. Like that shit was rough in the beginning. Right. And so I think like we just need to incentivize more human interaction with young people, same gender, other gender, just like hanging out with people that are different than you, because I think a lot of empathy just comes from that. And I know I'm yapping, but like one thing that I thought was really funny, Scott Galloway, who is one of the only people that consistently speaks on this issue, like everywhere he goes, his podcast, other people's podcasts, traditional news media. On Gavin Newsom's show, he said something really funny. He's like, legitimately, young people need to go out and drink more so they interact with each other at bars. And like, that's so true. I haven't done that much. That shit makes me really nervous. Oliver yelled at me because I walked into a bar and immediately pulled up Hinge. I got yelled at for that, which is fair because that's dumbass behavior. But not everybody has an Oliver to yell at
To
them, to
be
be
fair,
fair.
I yell at you about a lot of things. To be fair,
A lot of them are unbased.
but no, you're 100% correct. And I think overall, it's just no, dude. That I didn't even know about that Scott Galloway quote. That's so fucking right. So right. It's so many problems. So many the young man's epidemic, and it can't be solved. A lot of people's problems will be solved by just having some more friends and real life friends. And that's the thing that's just fucking killing this generation is we're so heavily involved with online culture, Discord, Instagram, all this bullshit, right? That we have no fucking clue how to socialize. As no one's saying, go out and go get a fucking drink, go have fun with people you don't fucking know. And it's so fucking hard, but just it just takes that first step. It's Dave Martinez, my Nationals manager, when we won the World Series, he said a stupid quote that I fucking love. A lot of bumpy roads lead to beautiful, beautiful views, and it's the damn truth.
That's some shit they would have sent to us in Pennsylvania last year.
Can I throw like just a I don't know if this would be controversial or not. I think one of the things that helped me out growing up when I was a young man, play sports with women. I was a swimmer. I was a swimmer. So we practiced with the girls' team. We shared pool time. Like it costs a lot of money to get pool time. We shared the pool time. Um, it can be a local kickball team. It can be something else. Get together with a team that shares a common goal and like you'll just organically learn how to interact. I don't want to say with the opposite sex, but it kind of like it tones it down to
Yes.
where there's no type of, I don't want to say like sexual pressure or anything like that, but you are working together to win the game, beat your time. You're working together for, I'll say, a secular goal. Like I feel that helped me out so much in my development as a young man. I mean, I was also a nurse too. Like I feel in a lot of ways, very lucky and fortunate. I want to say, been surrounded by women my entire life, but it has taught me how to not be scared of interaction with women and how to, I want to say, treat them as normal human beings, but like they're normal human beings. Like
Yes.
go out,
Yes.
do things
Yes.
that like do things where there's no sort of pressure and work
Yes.
together for a common goal. Join a sports team, a co-ed
Yes.
sports team. Do that.
So I think me and Oliver jokingly say that our sisters are fascists. But that also
My
means
sister
that
is a fascist, though.
I agree. Mine is too. I've noticed recently I get made to do every chore because she weasels her way out of it. Side note, I asked her to take the milk down to the basement. One bug made an appearance and the milk was dropped on the stairs and she ran upstairs.
Hold on,
But
Noah. Does your sister watch these podcasts?
no, so I can say
Well,
me.
hold on. Skip to this part right here.
She hates that cat. But
This
yeah,
great cat, great cat.
having
We love that cat.
having sisters and like just a fuck ton of cousins that kept my ass in line. Not like just like, and you're right, just like destigmatizing hanging out with the other sex. Um, and then the other thing, like I was thinking about this while watching that Galloway pod, right? I think part of the reason why I love my new job and love political organizing so much is it kind of feels like college. um you're with a group of people for like a short amount of time. There's some really stressful ass times in the middle and like the end, finals, midterms, all that. um but you're like bonded together with these people. You're going through everything together. You have your little social group. You're going out together on your days off or like free time and hanging out. And then like you still like, I'm gonna be home from like April to August. That's like kind of like being home for college. That's like this very similar timeline. So you kind of get that too. Like you still have like you're living with your parents and hang out with them occasionally. And I think that's part of the reason why like it's been so much fun. But once people you graduate college, usually like if you're really lucky, you'll get like a good group of work people to hang out with and socialize with. But other than that, like it's really hard to like get these like organized activities that like a will get you around other people, but also like Conrad said, get you around the other sex. And I think we need more of that. We need like to incentivize interaction, but also like make it fun. Just like
Hey,
idea off the sorry, I'm gonna add one more thing. There's 162 baseball games. Like college students get reduced seats. Like they should just do like a under 30s get in for like $5 one night. It can be like a Tuesday night game where it's at the Rockies, but like fucking do it.
dude, exactly. And I mean, I've grew up with very strong women in my life. I had two grandmas, both my grandma and her partner. So basically never had the chance to be a misogynist. I got called a misogynist for bullying my sister once. It was very funny. But no, dude, growing up with women is fucking just a great thing. Just, even just from the other shoe, very understanding. They know the shit you're going through. Dude, it's just phenomenal. And Conrad was 100% right. Join a fucking sports team with women. Get a fucking job. Make friends with the opposite sex. I mean, it's fucking crazy how insulated we are by just like, oh, he's a man. I can't be women with friends. Oh, I can't speak English right now. No, I'll cut this right now. No,
I'm
but
not cutting it because last time I cut something to save your ass, you said I was a fascist. So fuck you.
no, no, I told you that you didn't let me. You cut my 45-minute long speech. I don't remember what it was about. But no, I called Jihad Campbell and who did I call a terrorist? Sean McDermott a terrorist.
You know what? It's staying
Sean
in this time.
McDermott is a terrorist though.
Okay.
No. Listen, we've been recording for 2 hours. Let's keep going. No, but just having friends as women is fucking amazing. Dude, they are the fucking best. They will fucking kill for you. Have a lesbian friend too, man. Straight up, the fucking best. They're funny as shit. They know what they're doing. It's hilarious. That's all I have to say.
I think that just overall, um, I don't want to say it's easy to be angry. It's easy to be angry. It's easy to feel, and the hard part is, how do I say this? You have a legit bitch. You have a legit bitch about life. Your your future is looking a lot more bleak than like maybe your parents. The opportunities aren't there. Um, but work with us, work with other people. And when you work together, that's when you, you get a better future, not with exclusion, not with exclusion. And whatever like the manosphere promises, it's hollow and it's easy. And anything worth doing is usually hard. We talk about that first step a lot. Anything worth doing is usually hard. And just go out and interact with new people, hear different perspectives. And overall, like in a society that values those who talk a lot, a skill that has been lacking is listening. Listen to other people because a lot of other people have the same core issues, the same legit bitches about how things are going.
No, I agree. I think that just by having those conversations and those interactions, like it makes like the hate and everything move away so quickly. And you're no longer an incel on the internet.
No, exactly. It's just being the friend who listens is like the best thing. I mean, and because everyone wants to have an opinion, and everyone should. Speaking of the devil, there's the fascist right there. Hold on, wait, no, 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 no. Get her attention, Noah. Hold on, Noah, no, 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 no. Look at the cat.
Fascist.
Fascist. No, but just being that person who listens. I mean, and I try to do that myself, but shocking as it is, but it is very, it has done a lot for my social life and anything like that. It's just phenomenal. I'm
What would
looking
you
for
guys
photos of Ian. Mhm.
want to see are I don't know, like a government program? What do you think needs to be done on a public level to help not just men, but also young people? But what can we do better as a society to help support our young people and young men?
So, um, unironically, Oliver's gonna laugh at me for this. I think public transport needs to be incentivized. And I'll tell you just like I think if you have like kind of like a European society, but like with an American twist, obviously, like say that a person is able to live their life without the need for isolating themselves in a car. Like you're constantly around people, you're doing things with people, like the grocery store is right next to the apartment, like or even in the apartment, like there are courtyards and stuff where you can like sit and interact with other people and just hang out. Like I think you just have to incentivize people getting out of their little isolationist bubbles. I think one of the reasons that why Donald Trump's isolationism was so popular in 2024 is because of how isolationist everybody is as a country. Like in terms of like how much time we spend with other people or versus how much time we're by ourselves. Like we're one of the worst countries in that regard in the world. And I think that's plays a major role in things such as the suicide rate and like, the world's happiest countries. I don't know how you measure that, but like that I think that plays a part in it because people are with each other and like obviously like their society's like not failing them like ours is right now, but like to a certain extent they can just like go live their lives because they don't have to worry about health insurance and like things of that nature. So I think like every little thing, every little policy decision has like played a role in this, um, alongside people's just like personal attitudes and decision makings. But if you want to make it better, I think you just have to incentivize people spending time with each other again.
Honestly, I agree. I think just spending more time with each other and something I would love to see like government intervention. I mean, I it's gonna sound dumb. More community centers, more social events, more just shit like that. Block parties. Like let's say my block wants to have a party, right? And it's like, here's a loan from the city. Not even a loan. Here's fucking 5 grand. If it's gonna bring your community together, that's gonna be something great. Just an incentive program to bring communities together. Just have people get to know each other. Fun sports teams, right? Because and I love work. Me and Noah. No, you're wearing a fucking Germany jersey, dude. Travel soccer is so expensive. Have government run little sports leagues so young kids, can grow up with friends, so they can have that support system around them. Um, mentor groups. I mean, well, like we have a library for a reason, right? Give more funding to those libraries so they can have support groups for people who don't have friends. Or it's just, I think it's just such little shit. Like, hell, public transportation is a great idea too. Make it easier to get to the library, make it easier to get to my government funded job. I think, and a lot of it, the government can't fix. An individual, and I hate the word individual responsibility, but you got to take that first step. And that's what I tell my friend Ben. Oh, fuck it. We already know who it is. Don't cut this out. He's not going to watch this. Um, just take that first step. It's what we told Tiny. That's what we told everyone, man. My friend Anthony. Shout out Anthony, man. That's like, dude, Noah and Anthony, the two best guys I know, right? Shout out Ian. We still love Ian, right? Ian's there too. Everyone's there. But no, he's finally learning that where it's like you gotta you gotta take that first step. You can't be satisfied where you are. And once you start recognizing it, that's the best thing you can do.
I think it's just overall creating an environment where more organic interactions will happen. And also, too, opportunity has a lot to do with it. Opportunity has a ton to do with it. Um, I, I think Gen Z and millennials are we're feeling it. We see the writing on the wall and we see the direction our country's going in. And it's scary to think about the future. I think a lot of opportunities that our parents had aren't going to be there for us. I love the idea of public transport. Also too, like I love the idea of housing. Um, I think that if we had aggressive investment in our infrastructure, that requires aggressive investment in people because someone has to build that infrastructure. That will allow a lot of opportunities, a lot of training. Why don't we like why aren't we using apprenticeships more, right? Not even like just trade school, but like apprenticeships. There's unique solutions to these problems that I don't think we explore because no one's really bringing it up or exploring it. But like this is the world that we are going to live in. And for us younger people, we can have a huge say in the direction the world takes. And I think taking up that mantle of individual responsibility and transforming it into productive collective action is that is going to make you the happiest. Actually building the world that we are going to live in. And I think that's what the Democratic Party needs to do. I think that needs to be our platform is if you want to live in a great world, you get to build it and you can build it with us and with each other. How are we going to do that? Across race, across gender, across like religion, we can all do it together and we're going to be responsible for building it.
Exact. Like after the Great Depression, FDR became president, and like one of the first things he did alongside Social Security and like Medicare, it was like getting the younger people involved in like creating programs where they're the ones building the new infrastructure that the country's building. Because the number one way to get out of a recession is for the country to spend money. Um, we need things like that. Like we want more public transport. We shouldn't be, hiring out engineering companies from other parts. We should have our engineers and our craftsmen and our lumbermen build that shit here, and we should have the young people do it. You're right. Bring back apprenticeships so they can learn in different ways that don't require just like sitting in a chair. Because like I got yelled at in school all the time because I can't fucking sit still and I'm loud and like I will start doing shenanigans if you leave and make me sit still for too long. Um, but I also just like there's some like easy ass solutions that can be done like today to make this better. Like something like a book club. Like we talked about how like a lot of these men
Yes.
aren't in relationships. Um, I forget the source for the survey, but I saw this like survey. 96% of women, when asked what the most attractive hobby is, for a man to have, 96% of women said reading. Like that's something like they want people that are well read. And when you read more, you become more educated, you gain more empathy about the world, and you're just a much better overall human being. It's something that as little as possible. And Oliver, you're completely right. Like we're cutting funding for libraries, we're cutting funding for PBS and NPR. Like I grew up on PBS. Arthur is my fucking shit. DW also a fascist. Like it's just they're gonna do damage, but that allows us to build that shit back so much better than it currently is. Like libraries have been on the decline, reading's been on the decline. Um, quite frankly, Bluey does not hold a fucking candle to Super Y or Arthur.
Oh,
Like
hold on. Super White fucking sucked.
Super Y was awesome.
No, the fuck it wasn't. It
Yes,
was terrible.
you know what?
No, it wasn't.
If you
I
watch
had
Super Y,
cable. I
maybe
watched SpongeBob.
if you watch Super Y, maybe you'd be able to
My
talk.
mom wouldn't let me watch cool stuff. But guess what? I still watched Family Guy and American Dad. I watched a lot of shit I shouldn't have watched as a kid. Big
We can
Simpsons
tell.
fan.
I'm just
Big
saying,
King of the Hill
Oliver,
too.
maybe if you watch Super Y, you'd be
Nah,
able
I
to
didn't watch
spell
that.
better.
Well, no, that's dyslexia. That's not. Listen, that's another situation that we need to fix. But like, listen, Super Wise sucked.
It was a great show.
Okay, bud.
How how
Whatever
would
you
you
say.
guys start to, I don't want to say infiltrate the manosphere, but right, they're in there.
Yeah,
There's people that are in there. How do you initially get them out and exposed to different points of view? Like, I don't, how do you get them out? What do you think?
So, real quick, also, I'll edit this out. My iPad's at about 5%. We also have been recording in because of me for like 3 hours. But yeah, like I think infiltrating the ministry, I think that's something that we have to do when we work on college campuses. Like you got to get some of them to talk to you and genuinely being myself, like not doing anything special. I think I'm perfectly suited for what the manosphere wants and what the manosphere looks like in a way. Um, it's easy for me. I kind of just like be myself and like talk about sports, talk about football, say something stupid, and we're good. We're in, and then we can start to, brainwash them. But I think in general, right now, you just have to be there for them. Like Oliver said, you just have to be a good listener. These are people that are like told that you should never talk about your feelings. You're weak if you talk about your feelings. You're weak if you like, you admit that you're feeling anxious or you're feeling upset about something. Just be there for them and open them up to that conversation. And I think that's a massive step that you can take to start that conversation and start the process.
exactly. I mean, I pulled quite a few of my friends out of the manosphere, and you just gotta, yeah, just listen to them. Just be the shoulder right there, and just have a conversation. And everything Noah said, I think, is correct. Just be there for them. Have a conversation. Don't be afraid to ask if they're not doing well. All that, all that fun jazz. Conrad, you want to add your 2 cents?
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot of Gen Z friends who are not of my similar viewpoint. Um, I think for me it would be mentoring people at where I work, mentoring people in the community. I think it goes back to listening. I think I could get more involved in that. Also, too, like Gen Z is not the only generation that's been buying into the manosphere. I think a lot of millennials and even like my my parents' generation. Um, so I'm not really sure how to tackle the older, but the younger, I think mentoring would be a good thing.
I
100 fucking
100%
percent.
agree. I mean, and for myself, like my personal self, my dad went to jail when I was in third grade, right? Like 2 weeks after I got like a mail-in mentor, and that shit basically changed my life. And I mean, it's it's just even stupid shit. Just having a positive male role model in your life legitimately just makes a world of difference. And 4chan, stupid fucking website, but like I read something where I was like, this guy's like, and it's probably fake, but he was like, look, I grew up with a single mom and I watched King of the Hill and I would just do what Hank Hill did. And it legitimately has like done dividends for me. And just you find that positive figure in your life and you just think to yourself, what would he do? Or something like that.
Everybody needs their Uncle Phil from Fresh Air.
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think having this conversation is important. And I think this conversation, like addressing the issue, talking about it, talking about solutions, will lead to actual tangible progress in reaching out to these people, pulling them out of the manosphere, and just helping them lead better lives that they can be proud of themselves for.
Exactly.
But if we're good to start wrapping things up, what's everybody looking forward to this week?
Well, this week, let's see here. I went to my buddy's wedding last weekend. That was
Nice.
fun. This weekend, you know what? I'm looking forward to a nice chill weekend. Thinking in 2 weeks here, I'm gonna be seeing my other buddy down in Pittsburgh, but this weekend, uh, we're gonna hang out with like the same people we've been hanging out with weekly, discussing issues around the world and at work, but also playing some board games. So, nice chill weekend for me. How about I don't know who's next. Who wants to take it?
No, I mean, same here. I mean, I'm gonna hang out with a friend I haven't seen for like a year. It's gonna be pretty fun. The weather's finally getting a little warm over here. It's finally creeping up into the 90s. So, gonna go swimming, gonna go work out, gonna have a fun weekend. Probably, just discovered this Mexican market, La Michoacana. If everyone in Houston's gonna be like, how the fuck did you just discover it? Well, I was too scared to go inside. But no, but they have a butcher and they make these like pre-marinated carne asada, just all this like amazing like grilled Mexican meat stuff that you can do at home. And I've been buying it and I'm like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever had in my whole life. Fresh tortillas, homemade salsas. So gonna probably go over there, grill something for the weekend. Uh yeah, watch some basketball.
Yeah, I'm excited for Mother's Day. That should be fun. Watching copious amount of basketball because these playoffs are awesome. Shout out the Knicks. But yeah, kind of just like chill, hang out, start packing. Because I'm gonna be in Erie. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Just like y'all, just like not do stuff for a while. But hey, thank you guys for watching another episode of the Arena. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Peace.